This is an old office PC I pulled out from the corner of my storage. I don't even remember when I bought it. There's a warning on the case. Broken. For most people, this is just dead hardware. But for me, this is potential, because a PC almost never dies completely. Usually, it's just a few parts that fail, which means there's still something worth saving in here. So in this video, I'm taking this thing apart and pushing it as far as it can go. Can this piece of junk become a real gaming PC? Let's find out. So this right here is a pre-built Lenovo PC. The model name is kind of long, you can see it on screen. It was made around 2017 and it's a SFF system. And yeah, this isn't some super weak machine. It's running an H110 motherboard, which means I can use 6th and 7th gen CPU. Even by today's standards, that's still pretty decent. Just like most of these systems, it comes with 2 RAM slots, a PCIe by 16 slot, and even a built-in Wi-Fi card. Alright, let's see what's wrong with it. This machine came without a CPU and RAM, so I had to install some spare parts just to power it on and diagnose the issue. First problem? I couldn't even turn it on using the power button, because somehow the internal front panel wires were cut off. I have no idea why someone would do that, so instead I had to jump the power pins directly on the motherboard. But even then, nothing. It just refused to turn on. At this point, it started to look like a power issue, so I grabbed a standard ATX PSU to test it. The problem is, this board uses a proprietary power connector, so I needed an adapter to convert from 24-pin to 10-pin, and luckily, the motherboard actually powered on just fine, which means the original PSU is dead. So now what I'm left with is just the motherboard and the case. And here's my idea. I'm going to reuse as much as possible from this system, add in a GPU and use a standard ATX PSU to power everything. Because the stock power supply in these systems usually doesn't provide enough power for a dedicated graphics card. So yeah, let's turn this thing into something way more interesting. Alright, for this build, I'm going with the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660Ti is 6GB. Picked it up for around $95. Now, to fit a card this big into a system like this, I had to use a PCIe by 16 riser, which cost me another $25. And of course, I paired it with a 650-watt PSU to power everything. So I hooked everything up just to see if it would even work. And luckily, it works perfectly. But there's a problem. This setup takes up a lot of space, and honestly, it doesn't look very clean. So before turning this into a proper gaming machine, I need to secure both the PSU and the GPU. My plan is to mount them outside the case, because inside, it's just way too cramped. And honestly, this might actually be the best way to show off the GPU anyway. Now, I don't have a 3D printer, so I can't just make a clean custom bracket, which means I'm gonna have to get a little creative here. To connect the GPU, I had to cut out a section of the side panel, just to route the PCIe riser cable through. After measuring and marking the exact spot, the rest was simple. Just grab a cutting tool and remove that section. Once that was done, I added some tape along the edges to prevent scratches and avoid damaging the cable. But now I needed a way to secure the PCIe slot to the panel. So I started thinking, and then I realized the metal bracket from a GPU mount could actually work perfectly for this. Of course, I had to cut it a bit so the PCIe slot could fit through. Then I drilled 2 holes on both ends and used screws to lock everything in place. Now the PCIe slot is solid, no wobble at all. After that, I just needed to secure everything onto the side panel with screws, and just like that, we now have a solid GPU mounting bracket. You can pretty much install any large GPU on this. It's not perfectly rigid, but compared to just leaving it loose, this is way safer and way more usable. Next up, the PSU. Since it's pretty heavy, I needed something a bit more secure. So my plan was to mount it directly onto the side panel using screws. But first, I had to take the PSU apart, so I could screw it in from the inside. In the end, just 2 screws were enough to hold it very firmly. Now yeah, this does leave a couple of small holes in the PSU, but honestly, it doesn't affect performance at all, so I'm not too worried about it. What matters is, this build is slowly turning into a proper gaming machine. Once one side of the PSU was secured to the panel, I reassembled it back to normal. And just like that, the hardest part of this build is done. But I noticed something. The power cables are way too long, it looks messy. So my next idea, cut out a section in the side panel to route the cables cleanly back inside the case. And as you can see, it looks way cleaner now. And honestly, a lot cooler too. Now let's move on to upgrading the hardware inside this system. Because right now, this machine basically has nothing except the motherboard. First up, the CPU. I'm going with a Xeon E31240 V6, which I picked up for around $20. Performance-wise, it's pretty close to an i7-7700, so it's a really solid value. Next, RAM. For this build, I'm installing 16 gigabytes RAM. That's 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes, and right now these cost me about $50. For storage, I'm adding a 500 gigabyte SSD. Prices are still kinda high, so even a used one like this is around $30. But to use a CPU like this at such a good price, we do have to make a small trade-off, because this motherboard's chipset doesn't officially support server CPUs like this one. At this point, the video is already getting pretty long, so I'm not going to do a full BIOS mod tutorial here. There are already tons of guides online, so you can definitely look it up yourself. Now, one issue I noticed, this PC runs pretty hot, and the problem is there's basically no airflow at all. So I decided to add a fan to improve air circulation inside the case. For this, I reused a cooler from a Dell Optiplex 7020 that I worked on in a previous video. Since the original PSU is no longer usable, I removed it completely, and that actually left me with a perfect empty space. And guess what? That space fits this cooler perfectly. So yeah, I'm going to mount it right here. And here's everything I've upgraded on this PC. Overall, it looks clean and solid. I even tested it by giving the whole system a slight shake. And yeah, it's completely stable. No wobble, no loose parts. Everything feels locked in place. Everything is ready. I can't wait any longer. Let's jump into some real gaming tests and see if this setup can actually handle modern games. First up, CS2. I tested it in a deathmatch match, running at 1080p on low settings. And the result? Over 100 FPS. That's actually pretty solid. For esports titles, this setup is more than enough. Even for ranked matches, you're not going to have any problems here. Next, Minecraft. At 1080p with 8 chunks, the game runs super smooth at around 300 to 400 FPS. When I pushed it up to 32 chunks, FPS dropped to just over 100, but overall the experience is still smooth and stable. Then I turned things up a bit with shaders. At 8 chunks, the GPU was pushed to 100% usage, but even then, FPS stayed above 100 consistently, which means this system can handle pretty demanding graphics scenarios. Next up, Tomb Raider. At 1080p on high settings, it runs at over 200 FPS. Super smooth, perfect for fast-paced combat. Now let's check out GTA 5. At 1080p high settings, FPS sits around 60. It's not insanely smooth, but definitely playable. If you want higher FPS, you can always lower the graphics a bit. Overall, pretty solid. And finally, Cyberpunk 2077. At 1080p low settings, FPS is around 80 to 90. Everything feels smooth. When driving, it dips slightly to around 60 FPS. But overall, this is actually a pretty good experience. Definitely playable. Alright, after everything, from a cheap office PC that looked completely dead, to a system that can actually play games, honestly this result turned out better than I expected. It's not perfect, it's still a bit rough. Some parts look a little weird. But the important thing is, it works. It's stable, and it delivers solid 1080p performance for most popular games. And I think there are a lot of old PCs out there, forgotten, ignored, seen as useless. But in reality, with a bit of time, a small budget, and some creativity, you can turn them into something that's actually worth it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.